lifeadvicerr@gmail.com. That is the email address. Just a heads up on our DraftKings Alliance pick for this week because the lines are not up as the time of this taping. Ceruti, we're just going to do a social post and we're good. DraftKings will be happy. Everybody's good. Back on the winning side.
Yep, it'll be for the Friday night games. So looking for that first dub. We didn't. There was only 2 games because the Cup on Tuesday, so we didn't do the King of the Court. Maybe we'll be back after the new year, but check the socials. We'll have it there for you. We've been good as a unit. We just haven't hit one parlay. So take the bets individually if you want. That's probably the way to go too.
Yeah, there you go. That's what
Sure, they love to hear that.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, look, the bet's been
both,
good. But let's pick it up here. A couple moments here to follow up on. We have had a stream of emails. Like, I don't know if it's the wine spill follow-up. We have a lot of people wondering about the guy who's trying to live with his buddies, but it's such a bummer reading all of these emails about guys whose wives cheated on them after listening to that story. That
we're going to do this?
No, I don't. I just want to acknowledge these guys are like pouring their hearts out to us in these emails. And I would say collectively, I'm sorry. Like some of these stories are just awful. And I just don't want to read them. Because like the guy who wrote in the original email, like, we don't know his situation. And I think there's also a thing that will happen when there's tragedy with someone else and there's a relatable tragedy that happens to you, then you want their tragedy to be just as bad as yours is. And I don't know that that's fair to the emailer. Like, he's already probably freaked out enough that we're even referencing any of this stuff. Because now it went from, hey, my wife's annoying to, does this mean she's cheating on me? I was just trying to fucking see if these guys were going to do the picks for the college football playoff. And now I'm questioning my entire life. I don't know that I want to be that important ever.
Nope.
I don't want this, we're doing well over here. I don't know that I ever want to be that important of a show. So I think the emailer, he's not following up. It's just, I've seen your emails. I've read your stories. I'm sorry. But I don't know that I want to bum out the original guy that much more. And everybody could be projecting on him, as much as they're accusing the wife of projecting on our guy that sent in the email. So I felt like that was the best way to handle it. Some of those stories are brutal, man. Brutal. Okay.
Glad we did that. All right. What do we got?
Was that bad? Should I have done that?
Glad we did that.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. Some guy's like holding 2 presents in his hand right now for his wife that he's kind of got questions about. And he's like, you know what? Just give me the plated one. Give me the plated gold.
That's right.
This is something I even forwarded to Ceruti because I loved it as soon as it came in. Ceruti's iconic moment, 26 years old, 5'10", not much for lifting stats, more of a sneaky cardio athlete, player comp, peak Rockets, Luis Scola, Andres Biendrins, free throw shooting, Tony Allen's jumper, Rodney Stuckey's body. I thought Rodney Stuckey's body was fine, I think. I'm an avid listener. We'll alternate between the audio and video format of the podcast, depending on the time of day. Approximately 6 months ago on the podcast, during Life Advice, Ceruti gave a cowboy impression accent saying, yeah.
Was it
Ryen broke out laughter like nothing I'd ever seen before. It was all caps, incredible. Can anybody, you or the listeners, remember what episode that was? Because something triggered me to remember it today, and I had an instant deja vu, and I needed to listen to this 30-second clip again to relive the glory. Thanks in advance. Would love if you do a live show in the Bay Area because of your love of Steph would allow you to eat free in the Bay Area for life. I don't know. We're going to be doing the Super Bowl stuff, which is a massive pivot because we thought we were done with Super Bowls. And now, because it's the first year, I was like, you know what? F it. We're in. Do you remember what this is? It was like a concert yell, right? Like the way I've described this, because I had a buddy, Bobby, who lives in the San Francisco Bay Area. Maybe a Marin County guy. Who knows what those guys are up to? But he used to do this concert yell, and it was like the idea of like thumb in your jean pocket, maybe a beer or a Johnny Walker, and you're like Steve Miller pregame parking lot, and you're just letting out this concert yell. Is that what you did for us? Because I love it.
I remember, I remember the noise. I don't remember why we got into it. I use that a lot. It's just like a yeah kind of thing, Like I don't know what else. Like I use it.
It wasn't higher?
I don't think it was higher.
Well,
That's
Randy
usually my
Savage,
go-to.
too.
But I don't remember the context. I certainly don't remember what the episode was. I now would also like to go back. So if anybody has some free time, let us know, because I'm interested in why I even did that in the first place. But I'll do that around the house, and Maddie thinks it's kind of funny. So
what is it again?
Yeah, it's kind of like a
Macho Man.
No, it's not that.
Yeah,
it's it's like a sarcastic tough guy. I don't know why. Like, a guy who, I don't know, maybe like you're listening to Creed in the garage by yourself, hitting some golf balls. I don't know. And you're just loving life. And it's just you're happy to be alive kind of thing.
Do you know what I'm talking about, though, with the Steve Miller guy? Like, it's a higher pitch and it's louder. It's like,
no,
I can't.
Do love Steve Miller, though. Love
Who
Steve
doesn't?
Miller, man.
Who doesn't?
Are you talking more of a woo?
It's more like a yelp, where it's like, it's not a woo. It's not a woo, but it's like a hoot. You know? I don't know. This guy.
Ceruti's the only one who's
Bobby,
not embarrassed to try it on the mic, so I guess we'll never get it. You can tell Ryan's like trying to describ it without doing it.
I don't even know what. I don't know what you're
it's
talking
a little
about.
embarrassing.
Steve Miller, because the only Steve Miller thing that I remember is that like whistle in what's that song in Jungle Love? He does the. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Great song, by the way. I'm just letting it fly today, apparently.
My thing is so loud. The thing I'm thinking of is so loud that it would be. I gotta go
turn the knob down on the
right. I gotta go all for it.
Step back a little bit.
I don't want a guy in a car getting like, what the hell?
Fair.
So I don't know how it would be subtitled on Netflix.
Nice.
So there's always a danger there. Anyway, the show's not on Netflix yet, so don't worry about it. Okay, couple emails here. Lifelong Hooper missing the game? All right, we'll do this one. 28 years old, 6'5", 180, 6'11 wingspan, 357 marathon. This guy, is he real? No impressive gym stats, none needed after that. 6'11 wingspan? Yeah, sub-4 marathon? NBA comp, Rudy Gobert. I live in the paint, protect the rim, keep it old school on offense with a baby hook and drop step, can still throw it down when needed. On the court, I enjoy my job. Working in finance, I'm happily married, 1-year-old boy. Dilemma. I like how we organized this email. I miss playing real organized basketball, high school ball, college intramurals, running with the same squad all year. I find myself daydreaming about those days all the time. I moved away after college, so none of my high school or college friends are around. I play pickup regularly and have tried a few local men's leagues, but honestly, it's just iso ball, guys hunting for calls or dudes looking to start fights. There's no real teamwork, no chemistry. Most of the time, I'm not even having fun. My question is, how can I go back to truly enjoying basketball? I don't see a way to recapture that feeling I had when I was younger, and honestly, that bums me out. Have you guys dealt with this, or do you know anyone who has? Any advice would mean a lot. Appreciate you guys. Keep up the great work.
I think I know.
Does he just miss being in a basketball team? Like, does he miss a locker room? That's what everyone misses the most from basketball, right?
What happened to the game I loved? Mark Jackson, Go ahead, Ceruti.
I think you got to find, what time do the old guys play at the Y?
There you go.
Because those guys play the right way.
Real teamwork guys.
You might not win as much as you want, but they're like at least going to move the ball. They communicate on defense. They certainly aren't isoing anybody, trying to take anyone off the dribble. That's, if you're looking for like the pure form of basketball, that's probably what you got to do. Because I remember I haven't played the Y in a long time, but there were a bunch of old guys that were skill level, probably not as good as some of the other guys, but I would have 100% drafted them first if we were doing like a fantasy draft of guys that we could have picked at the Y. And so I think that's probably your move. You need a good balance of the young and the old. So if you can find a couple of your buddies that you trust or anybody that you kind of know that you like, and then mix in a couple of old heads, guys that are kind of maybe wearing like gray, a lot of gray. Yeah. Maybe some New Balances, who knows?
New Balance,
that's
the
kind of guy you want to play with.
Yeah, hit the blue plate special after a dub. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the old guys are still wearing Under Armour.
Yes.
That's like a good indicator. So like it went from a younger thing, compression, and now I feel like the older guys are super late to the compression thing, and they haven't gotten the memo that
shorts.
Some of the stuff compression wise doesn't, like, you don't have to wear this out. Although I respect it, I've brought that up numerous times. I see a guy out in a compression Under Armour full sleeve, and he's gone out to drink that way.
Jeans.
It's like, it's like his drinks will be on me tonight. Like, do you want to say hi? No, I don't want to meet him. I definitely don't want to talk to him. But I want that move to be acknowledged and respected. I've talked about that before.
Yep.
That's the move. I mean, there were different games when I was still playing, when I'd show up in Hartford or something, and especially if you were like the only white guy and you were older, I'm like, okay, no one's ever going to pass to me. I think a couple times I may have said, like, I'm not here to set fucking screens all day, guys. And then it's just a bunch of younger kids looking at you, just being like, what the fuck? You know, and then it's kind of on you. And then, you know, whatever. There's nobody's going to pass you the ball. But the older games, and since you're 28 and it sounds like you've got some frame here, like it's going to be up to you to like understand like how much older the guys that you're playing with are. Like I know, like you're not going to want to go in and be like, yeah, but if I play with these guys, like no one can handle me physically and it's not going to be as much fun. I actually think it will be more fun. I think the overall message that I would say to you is that if you love basketball this much and you're 28, do not let anything get in the way of you like playing bad games, because I'd rather play in bad games and be able to run around and move than playing no games. Because if you do the long gap of not playing and then you come back, it's going to be a disaster. So just keep playing. And I think Ceruti nailed that one with the older guy thing. Because I don't know. I played in like a men's league towards the end of me playing, like in pickup stuff, and you know, half the games were great and half the games were terrible. So, you know, the thing about sign-up sheets is the sign-up sheet doesn't know what your deal is. You just write the check.
Yeah. I got put on in my most recent pickup thing. I joined a league in town, and I think, did I say this before? I forget. I got put on like basically a free agent team. There was like 8 of us, or 8 or 9 new people. And the guy was just like, yeah, just throw them all on the same team. And that, great guys, but that was a disaster. No one had any chemistry. It was like one guy who was like kind of good. He shot a lot, but it's because like we needed one guy to at least be assertive. No one was that old, and no one really knew how to cut, move, and whatever. And I wasn't good either, and it was a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, that's there's also like just way less leeway. If you're 6'5" with a 6'11" wingspan though, and you're 28 years old and you could still dunk, then I think guys are going to defer to you. So I'm a little surprised. Like this guy's just about the game, the purity of it all, right? Because I imagine you're still getting touches, even if you're saying like if your offense is more like Rudy. But I think everybody would want you on the team. But again, boxing out, setting screens, getting back on defense, like that stuff's just not appreciated that much. It's just a free for all of guys. But you know, there's just when it's new basketball players playing with each other, there's zero like tolerance for anyone else. If this makes any sense, and I'm not doing a great job of this, but if you're doing something wrong or you're messing up, but it's guys that you've played with, then nobody ever gets caught up in all the bullshit of like what you're doing. And you can be just as good. And then in a completely new setting, and then it's just guys get so mad at each other about the same shit that you would never get mad about. I mean, you could relate this to like,
should we switch to zone is always the best. We're getting like eat up and eat alive. It's like, we can. I'm not sure that's going to solve our problems, but.
I remember this one game I played in where it was a bunch of guys that always played this like half court thing. So it wasn't even like a full run. And I got so mad at it because like they got burned in the same pick and roll it was like 8 buckets in a row. And I was like, are you just going to let this happen the whole fucking time? And then none of them knew me except for one guy. And then I was like the dick, but I couldn't take it anymore. Like, I think they figured out how to break the D guys, and you're like off to the side. And then you're like, well, then I'll jump in here. And if you can't figure out what it is that they're doing when they've done it 8 times in a row and you're not doing anything different, like what the fuck are we doing? Yeah, I don't know.
It's also the guy though too who like does the scoring maybe, or is one of the better players, but like thinks that he doesn't really have to get back on defense, and then yells at you at like his teammates for like letting layups happen. It's like, hey man, your guy's the one getting back and beating us in transition. Like, cool, like, you know, you made a couple buckets here, but we're net negative because you're not really giving a crap about the other end of the court.
It's really the same thing as like having a relationship with somebody versus, you know, stranger. Our tolerance for a stranger is incredibly low. I mean, it's not
especially
even
when driving.
profound.
Come on now.
Yeah.
No one's ever given anyone the benefit of the driving.
Yeah. Not even that profound. Let's keep it moving. All right. How do I reject a relocation at work? 5'9", 31 years old, not listing weight or gym stats because I've been tanking the last few years to kickstart the rebuild. I like that. Lower expectations around you. It's kind of like when I used to have hair, I would let it grow out long and it'd be kind of like nasty, like hockey hair as that guy in the ECHL. And then I would get it cleaned up. And it's like, wow, look how hot Russillo is. I'm like, not really, but I just look better than before. I think that's a great move for you guys that are out there. Let yourselves go a little bit. Don't be Lego guy, don't be the same guy all 12 months. Look worse to then look better. All right, back to the email. Never played basketball, but high school football comp would be the height, ball skills, and brain of Wes Welker, but agility and speed of Tony Siragusa. Tough combo. I live in a large Western city and I work for a massive company. Headquarters out here. I've been working here nearly 10 years now. Generally enjoy my job and the people I work with. I've been a, quote, key talent, unquote, development employee, gotten top performance ratings, multiple raises, promotions, etc. This is not intended as a brag, more laying the foundation for my issue. That's fine, man. It's not bragging if you're doing it, right? I make decent money and we have good benefits. My wife also works for the company, is based locally, but she works remote. Over the summer, I got moved into a new department, not a job I applied for. Initially, I was told I would have to travel to the main office 2 times per month. I was already traveling a lot for my previous role, so while this was not ideal, it wasn't a huge change for me. Then after I accepted the role, it was made clear to me that I was going to have to relocate. I was able to partially fight it off as my wife and I were expecting our first baby, a daughter we had 8 weeks ago. This past week, My boss told me that coming out of the holidays, she would like a more definitive timeline on when I would be relocating. I've already moved 4 times for this company, including moving myself back to a major mountain city when my job on the West Coast was eliminated and I was transitioned to a remote position. My family and my wife's family both are near us. We just had our first grandchild in July, back to the 8-week thing. After missing... wait a minute, not in July. Our first grandchild of our family, which we just covered again. After missing a lot of family events and time with our families in the last 7 years because we didn't live here, my wife and I do not want to move for the foreseeable future. Where I could use the help of this esteemed committee is, how do I tell my boss that relocation is not going to happen without fully torpedoing my promising career? They have roles in my city, but they are few and far between. I'm unsure if the decision will kill my chances to get one of them. I've been a great employee for 10 years, but I'm anxious that all my goodwill is going to get tossed aside in the spot. I'm a dead man walking. Or am I a dead man walking, or is there a way to do this that won't get me fired? Kyle?
I don't know what it's like anymore. I thought it was just like, I feel like I knew a bunch of people with dads who were just like, yeah, we're going to Tennessee now. I was just like, oh shit, okay. Like I think
you think that happened? You think dad stopped moving to Tennessee?
I don't know. I wonder if COVID,
I think a lot of people started moving to Tennessee.
COVID changed a lot of things. A lot of people were like, I don't have to do this shit anymore. And I mean, some companies were good with it. And some were like, we got to get back. So I just don't know. I don't know what like, I've been incredibly lucky where I'm, sitting in my wood panel basement here doing this thing in the stick, so to speak. But I don't know what it's like in the real world anymore for regular jobs where if it's more of a strong suggestion that everyone do this thing, or if it's just like, that's it or hit the bricks. So I don't know what it's like out there.
So just to go back, he was not told that he specifically had to relocate. And then now it was kind of like on the table, and now they're just like, hey, when is that going to happen?
Might have been like page 12 of his agreement.
He said, quote, then after I accepted the role, it was made clear to me that I was going to have to relocate.
Yeah, I think
he probably shouldn't have said that part. Like, if he's stringing it along, though, and the boss is like, hey, after the holidays, I want some, he probably could have said that up front.
About the relocation.
To be like, yeah, because
now
you look like you're moving the goalposts. Like now that someone asked you, hey, what's going on with that project? And you're just like, actually, I think this on projects is unfair or something. It's just, it might be tough to bring it out now that you've been basically quiet about it for this long.
I don't like that I'm going to say this, but like, and I don't, nobody likes Toby, obviously, but like, this feels like an HR problem. Like you did not have to, this was not part of the deal. And now it's just sprung on you that this is part of you taking this gig. Like that's not really like a thing that should happen. That's something that's what the reason HR is there, to kind of protect you, even though it probably might like make you look like an asshole in the long term, and who knows, but like that's probably the most official and clean route you can go. I mean, maybe just be honest with your boss and just say, hey, like this was not something we agreed to, and I just had a kid, and just kind of like lay out all the stuff that you have. Like I like this company, I'm good here, but like this is not something I'm really willing to do in the near future. And if it becomes a huge problem, then that you have to kind of raise it up the levels. But like I think anyone would be on your side if this wasn't part of the deal when you took the job, or at least the new position.
Yeah, this comes down to like the scouting report. What's the scouting report on your boss? she's telling you she wants a definitive timeline. Now, is she, because bosses have to remember all of their encounters and you only have to remember your encounter with her, which is the downside of being the boss, is like you're talking to all these different people. And like, I've always had some things in the past where I'm like, look, this is what was said. And, the advantage is with me here because I only have to remember what you said to me. I don't have to remember everything that you said, like to all these other people. And it's very simple that you could have gotten lost here. She may be remembering this scenario as if you accepted the job after you were told that you were going to have to relocate. And it doesn't mean anybody's evil or anybody's doing anything different, but like you've got to figure out the scattering report. Is this somebody that just forgets things? Is this someone that doesn't care and is going to just hopefully march right over anybody that's in the way of her decision? Like she may fully know that you took the job before you knew this relocation thing. And she's thinking in the boss-employee relationship that you're just going to go with it. And, the last thing I'd ever want to do is give somebody advice on this. And the guy checks in 2 weeks later. He's like, yeah, I just got fired. Thanks, man. But every one of our professional lives, I think you could break it down to like something really simple. You'll be fucked with for a long time with the ultimate goal of hoping to do it to a point of like, you can't really fuck with me now on this. Ultimately,
and it sounds like you're in a good spot too. Like
10 years in. Yeah, you're probably getting close to that.
Yeah. Year 10, you've moved 4 times. If everything that you've said to us was true, I mean, what's the worst that can happen by saying, I didn't accept it based on this for all of these factors. We just had the kid. He's here with his grandparents. The family thing is incredibly important to me. My wife already works for the company. I'm going to do everything within reason to want to work here for a really long time. I mean, if you don't at least stick up for yourself, then not only is this going to trample you, they're going to think of you. Their scattering report on you is that you're going to always give in. So this is always a case-by-case scenario here where, again, we're just reading the email here, but like to that original point, like when I was at ESPN, I knew like no matter what was happening in all those decisions, for the most part, I'm like, yeah, but guess what? Like you're kind of the we can fuck with this guy list. And it was a very short list of people that they couldn't do that to, but I was on the longer list of all these people. So I could get mad up until a point, and then it's like, well, how mad are you going to be? Like you're still working here. Yeah. You're gonna talk yourself into this tough guy thing, and then ultimately when it comes down to it, it's like, yeah, this is still probably the best option. I'm just gonna have to deal with the things that I'm gonna have to deal with until you think you can get to a point of, guess what? Now I don't have to deal with this anymore. I don't have to accept these changes or whatever. I don't know if 10 years is enough. I don't know if you've been valuable enough for you to be able to get away with that. But like anybody, I would say you at least have to offer them your position. And based on the timeline, if that's correct, be like, I would not have accepted this role. So we need to figure out another way to do this and be not defiant, but like defend yourself in a way that's, don't talk for too long, which is something I would struggle with. But you can just go, hey, here is the timeline. Boom, boom, boom. I've been this. I've done this. These are the reasons I have to stay here. And let's see if we can't figure out some sort of compromise. And you know what? Sometimes with bosses, it's amazing because they just go, hey, this person's right, and I don't really have them. Like, you'll never know. And like some of the people that are managers that are listening to the pod right now, like, the shit you try to pull. Like, some of the stuff that you try to pull on people. It's like, well, maybe I can get this person to go over here, and I'm trying to like figure out all this stuff. And, sometimes it's great too as an employee. Like if you become the employee, it's like, I can't really fuck with that guy and he's valuable. Mm-hmm. So again, I don't want to get an email in here and be like, yeah, great, they let me go. But if everything you said to us in this email is true, you at least have to present your case and go in there in a way that they feel like there is no leeway. Because they'll take advantage of that too. All right, that'll do it for life advice. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, Steve. Make sure you check out our YouTube page and subscribe. And also, the holiday schedule. How are we doing this? We're doing a Monday pod and a Wednesday pod?
Yep. We're going to have Gruden on Monday and Fred Warner on Wednesday.
Sounds like that'll be some good content. Ryen Russillo Show, part of the Barstool Network.